Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Warner Brothers possibly selling the Looney Tunes. Now, I want to use the word possibly because I don't know if this is 100% confirmed or not. But going with the state of Warner Brothers right now, I honestly wouldn't be surprised. And what direction they're going with the company. But before we do that, before we discuss this, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. You guys can follow me there. Also, I got, I'm trying to get to 1K subs. I'm at like over 500 subs right now. Thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate it. I do. And, I think that's pretty much all I really have to get into. So let's actually get into the actual video here. So you guys know Warner Brothers, right? Just like Disney, Warner Brothers has been struggling really bad. Honestly, I can't really decide which company I despise more right now. Warner Brothers or Disney. I would have said Disney a few years ago, but since this merger has happened with Warner Brothers, it seems like this shit's getting worse. Like, it is getting worse. So we got like the, David Lasley, because he became the CEO of Warner Brothers when they merged with Discovery and all that, and he became the new CEO, and, he's out there, like, cutting films and all that. Doesn't care about animation. I mean, to be fair, Disney doesn't either, and Disney's cutting crap too, but at least they're still making, animated movies. Even though they're not always good, they're at least making some stuff. With Warner Brothers here, in here and all that, they're like, they don't seem to be caring about anything here. They're like cutting back on a lot of stuff. I mean, we are getting some shows, like we've gotten like Fiona and Cake, we got that. We got, so far we only got one season of that show. I've seen, the show, it's actually really good. Well, all but the last episode. I don't know how it'll end. But I did see the other episodes, and it's really good. Like, it's really good. It's very good storytelling and all that. It's very good. It's supposed to be like a spinoff of, Adventure Time. It's really good. I'm wondering if that was already in production when this merger happened, so they kind of just let it slide. I don't know. I don't know what the hell is going on with Warner Bros. I mean, we got them, they don't, they're burying the Looney Tunes movie, the day Earth blew up under the bus. They did the same thing with the Coyote movie. Both movies have gotten rescued. They're actually I think if I'm not mistaken, I know Ketchup Entertainment, which I never heard of them until this all happened, but they got the rights to use the other film. And then we got out here, then we got out here, like we got the Coyote versus Acme, movie. That one is also, it was another hand-drawn animated movie. It is also getting, it was also kicked aside by Warner Brothers, and now it's also getting, taken over by another company. I'm not sure if it's still Ketchup Entertainment, but that's just kind of sad. I mean, Looney Tunes is literally Warner Brothers is like a fucking mascot here, and they're like shoving it aside, And this isn't like Nickelodeon or something where it's not like Nickelodeon here where yeah, SpongeBob is the mascot of like Nickelodeon here, but it's not like, it came along later down the road. It's been with Warner Brothers pretty much forever, since the company pretty much came out. I think it came out a little bit later, though. I don't know what they did before that, but Looney Tunes is kind of like their version of Mickey Mouse in a way, with the gloves and all that, They were both very wacky, and all that. Where Mickey Mouse is kind of, Dizzy's thing and all that, But the thing is, though, is it's just crazy that they're going this far to like oust this stuff too. You know, it's like I'm again, I'm like, I can understand maybe like, especially if you're wanting to sell stuff. I can understand, wanting to sell maybe like, I don't know, Hanna-Barbera or something like that, or another franchise, but like selling, actual Looney Tunes. That's like the face of your company here. I don't know. I think I think Warner Brothers is probably going to be finished too. I was thinking Disney was going to be finished first. I was kind of thinking both of these companies are probably going to die, but I think this one may die first. I mean, well, Disney might have a shot to be saved if they could get sold off to somebody else. Warner Brothers, I think they're just going to gut the entire company and just sell shit off to each other, and I'm like, I don't know why they would want to do that. Like, why would you want to do that? I'm like, again, I'm like, that's kind of like, I mean, they brought him in there, and then he's just kind of like, again, he's kind of just screwing crap up even more than before. But yeah, both Disney and Warner Brothers are not in very good shape right now. Both companies are in very bad shape. And I'm wondering if Disney's gonna start looking at this stuff too and start doing this stuff. I will give Warner Brothers this at least. At least they're not shutting stuff down like Disney's doing. Like Disney's out there like they've shut down crap that they've acquired over the years. I mean, with Warner Brothers, at least they're trying to sell stuff off. But I'm like, I don't feel like you need to always. I feel like you don't have to sell all this stuff off. Some stuff I can understand, but like I think like for example, Disney doesn't need. They don't need 20th Century Fox. They could sell that off and get some scrap money off of it. Warner Brothers could probably sell off, I don't know, like they could sell like, I don't know, like they could probably, I mean, I would say they should probably keep Hanna-Barbera, but they could sell off like, I don't know, like some shows or something, I don't know, like, or they could sell CNN off, they don't need that. But instead they're trying to like gut all this stuff out, it's just like, that's kind of the problem, and they're basically becoming Disney at this point, where there's not really anything to the company anymore that makes it worth your time. You got like I said, you got like they had Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network is basically dead. It's been dead forever. I mean, this is before David Lasley. So I don't want people to think that David Lasley was the reason why it was dying. It was dying before that, because all they aired was Teen Titans Go. I know people out there like Teen Titans Go, which I don't really see how. I guess, to be fair, there are some episodes that aren't that bad, but a good chunk of them end up like giving fans who grew up with the original show the big middle finger and all that, and I'm like, I don't like people who shit talk, their fans. I hate that. And I'm like, that makes me not want to support their show, and then like, and it's the only thing that's on Cartoon Network, so, and it's pretty much just, like, on Max, it's literally the only season that's on there, season 8, so I don't know, something's going on with Warner Brothers too, with Max and all that. Like, I was thinking they were taking off the shorts because they were probably going to shut down the streaming service. Now I don't really know what they're going to do, but I think at this point, I'm like, why not just sell the entire company off at this point? Like, just sell it, like, to Netflix or something. I don't know, or they could sell it to, like, I don't know, they could sell it to, well, actually, I don't know, can they sell it to Prime, or, no, I guess they could, I think they could sell it to Amazon, because Amazon, is not, like, considered a monopoly. They can't sell it to Disney. Disney's too big. But they could sell it to Paramount. Because there was talk that Paramount was going to get bought out by, or I can't remember how it went. Like, was it they were going to get bought out by Warner Brothers, or was Warner Brothers going to buy them, or were they going to buy Warner Brothers? I don't know how it was going to go. That would actually have been a really good idea, because, if they the other way around wouldn't have been great, because then David Lasley probably would have just gutted that stuff too. But they could have had, like, Paramount could have, like, bought out Warner Brothers and all that, and they could have got licensings to a lot of these films, because they're actually sharing a good chunk of the licensing issues. But no, they're not doing that. So I don't know what's going on there, but I don't know. I thought that could have been pretty good there. But there was also, the whole, like the whole thing too. Like I said, their streaming service is also down. Like Paramount, it's not doing very good, and I think like Paramount, they're kind of taking their shows off of there and moving it somewhere else. I mean, Paramount's out there taking SpongeBob off their platform too. That's what I was thinking. Maybe Max was doing here. Maybe they were they're taking Looney Tunes off there and putting it on a different platform. Because they're going to shut it down, because these streaming services are costing these studios too much money here. They can't be making all this stuff. That's why Netflix kind of cut back, because they were making animation for their platform, and then it cost them too much money. The problem is too is this is kind of the problem with everything going to streaming too. Was I will say cable and all that, and Dish and all that stuff were very expensive. But one thing I'll say though is they probably were more expensive because of how much it cost to make this stuff and air it on your platform. They had to make money. But I don't think paying like over $100 something is not worth it. To be fair though, with Dish you could actually get yourself some deals too, like for like $70, $99, but that's still kind of expensive. But the problem is, though, again, with these streaming services, they're also very cheap, and there's too many of them, so, like, they're going to try to up the prices, but the problem is they can up the price, but again, there's too many of them, so you're better off just have had it on one platform. But that's why I think they kind of took their stuff off of Netflix, not just because of greed, because they wanted to probably get all the money for themselves, instead of sharing it with another platform, but also it probably was costing them more money, because at the time Netflix was still very cheap, so. But I don't know. But I just know, like, guys, I don't know. I don't know what the heck's going on Warner Brothers. I guess the W can be brought to you by the brought to you by the by the W. By what's going on, because, what the hell is going on with Warner Brothers? I was trying to make a Sesame Street joke. I know that was kind of terrible, but I don't know. Seriously, like, what the hell is going on with it? Like, and I can say that. Like, what? Like, what's going on? But like I said, I don't know if they're actually going to sell it up, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do. My hopes are that Disney doesn't decide to swipe in there and fucking buy them up, because that will be horrible. That would be fucking horrible, because Disney does not care about their franchises either. They do not care about them either. They're like I said, both companies are very bad at this shit, but that's why it's so hard to decide which company is worse. Hell, when they were having their 100th anniversary, they were both having their 100th anniversary stuff. People were kind of in the comments on, like, Twitter and Instagram and all that, and, like, on social media in general. I think even YouTube, I've seen posts of that, like, people kind of arguing which one was worse. I said I think Disney was worse, because Warner Brothers at least had some decent stuff come out, and they actually did some stuff to celebrate with the DVD box sets and stuff. I mean, Disney did that too, but Disney's thing was fucking horribly expensive and all that, and even Warner Brothers also changed their intro too, like Disney did. So that was something too. They actually changed it blue, and then they changed it back to the original color. I guess they didn't like it. But they did like a remix of their theme too, like Disney did with theirs. But I don't know. I just think they did a lot more to. Disney really didn't do anything with their stuff. I mean, they changed their intro, but they actually had a little short. But they really didn't have anything for their 100th anniversary. It was sad, and they had Wish, but I've heard that movie was really bad and poorly made, and I heard it had some animation, production issues, because the people wanted to make it 2D, but couldn't make it 2D, and it ended up just looking very sloppy. I've not seen the movie, but I've seen some images of it, and it looks really bad. Like, it looks very cheap, and, like, it doesn't look like the worst thing I've seen, but, like, it's definitely not any Hoodwink, but it still doesn't look great. Yeah, I've seen Hoodwink, I remember the movie being very good, but I remember the animation looks really horrible. But but yeah, that's kind of the thing though. But that's what's sad though. Like when you got like people debating like which one's worse, then you know you're in trouble. But yeah, they're both companies. Like I said, they're both companies that are not doing very good. They're really not. They're just but both of them have also been struggling for years. But honestly, at the time, I thought Warner Bros. Was better because I felt like they at least had good stuff coming out. Even Scooby-Doo, despite me hating some of the newer Scooby-Doo content, there were still stuff I liked, I mean, Disney's kind of in a similar way, but a lot of their older franchises, they kind of screwed up and all that, and it's not as good, they've even rebooted some stuff on their channels, and I'm like, it doesn't look as good and all that, and that's kind of the thing, though, there, too, but I don't know, but they both been kind of falling downhill for a long time, but yeah, I don't know, but speaking of Disney, too, I want to point this out, that this, American Dad, which is TBS, which TBS is supposed to be a channel, I believe, from Warner Brothers. I'm pretty sure TBS is part of Warner Brothers, because they have Adult Swim and then they have TBS, which I'm just like, why do they have two different adult channels, but apparently American Dad, I was going to make a video about this, but I think I'll just talk about it now, because I don't have a lot to say about this, but American Dad is actually it's airing its last, episode, and by, I think they said May, it's going to go back to Fox, aka Disney, because Disney owns, the Fox, channel and all. They don't own all of Fox, but they own, the shows and all that, and I'm just like, a lot of people in the comments are, praising this, this is a good thing and all that, because now they can watch it on their platform and all, and I'm like, this is actually not a good thing. This is a bad thing, because they, like I said, they don't care much about their animation stuff either. In fact, that's why I kind of felt like they were kind of worse than Warner Brothers, because they're very bad with censorship. Warner Brothers is too, but they're worse, they're 1,000 times worse with this stuff. When they bought out Fox, they fucked Family Guy over bad too and all that, and they're not allowed to say certain jokes and all that anymore. Hell, I got Family Guy breaking the damn fourth wall a bunch when they first bought out Fox. They broke the fourth wall and all that. There's tons of, there's probably I think I've counted 10 seasons. No, not 10 seasons, I mean, sorry, 10 jokes about that. And I'm like, this is kind of what I was afraid that was going to happen with Family Guy and all that. Personally, I kind of quit watching the newer episodes. I do not care about them anymore. Also, sorry if you heard my bucket fall and all. I dropped the bucket fell on my lap. Surprisingly, it just randomly fell down like that. I was thinking it was going to be okay, but it still fell anyway. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I'm in the car and all that doing this video because, I actually got behind on some stuff today, and I am taking this new medication that's making me a little sleepy during the day, so I figured why not just get it done now, I mean, it doesn't really matter where I record it, as long as I'm not, waking anybody up in the house, so, yeah, but yeah, back to this, though, yeah, the whole American Dad thing, too, so, yeah, well, Fox canceled the show, and then TBS picked it up, and they actually reran, episodes. Unfortunately, Fox, still had the rights to the show. Yeah, they still had the rights to the show and all that. So Disney technically still has the rights to the show. They just can't, they couldn't, air it and all that. And I don't know how much control they had over it, but I noticed that it's not as censored, it's not as cringed, as Family Guy has gotten with that stuff. And now that they're going to gain complete control over it, I'm just like, well, that's going to just make it worse. Because, again, Disney always finds a way to make shit way worse than it already is. It's like back in the day, I heard, they talked about, apparently Disney was actually going to plan on buying Warner Brothers. They were actually gonna buy, not kidding, they were gonna buy Warner Brothers. They were gonna buy Warner Brothers. It wasn't gonna be AT&T. It was gonna be Warner Brothers. Was gonna be gobbled up by Disney, before the Fox thing happened. But they didn't actually they didn't actually win, the suit and all that. They actually lost, that AT&T beat them to it. So they actually beat them to the the thing. And I'm like, that's just crazy, like how, like, as in Disney's was out there going to acquire that. Like, just imagine how bad that would have been. With Warner Brothers, I will say at least it looks like they might sell some stuff off, so at least it might be safe. Like I said, Disney, all they do is they acquire shit and then they just shut it down and all that. They used to, like, sell stuff off, but pretty much Bob Iger is a shitty CEO too, like David Lasley. He's a shitty CEO. He takes credit for shit he didn't do and all that, and then he tries to, like, blame it on others. Like, I didn't bring this up in the Snow White video, but I guarantee, like, him and his team are gonna be, like, putting all the blame on Rachel Zegler for the failure of the movie. And I'm like, it was not all her fault. I mean, yeah, she's a shitty person, but it's not all her fault. They had a big part of it too, but I guarantee they'll blame all of it on her. It's just like, I mean, they will never learn, and I'm just like, they'll just never learn. But that's kind of the thing there too. But yeah, I definitely don't want Warner Brothers to sell Looney Tunes to Disney. I would definitely not want that. That'd be fucking horrible to happen. I mean, if you think it's bad now, like, we're like, apparently Elmer Fudd, I guess, is not allowed to have a gun and all that. At least what I've heard. Like, I mean, things have changed on the platform, but, like, because, Discovery and all that, but I don't know if, I think AT&T still owns part of Warner Brothers, so they still own part of it. Because we still get deals from them and all that. That's how we got Max. But Discovery has a good chunk of control over it, so. But the fact, if they sold that to Disney, though, it'd be a lot worse. With that stuff, they'd be a lot worse. And I would not want that at all. I definitely would not want that. I'm just thinking about this whole merger thing and all that. I'm like, I hope Paramount, when they merge with Skydance, I hope that actually goes way better than what happened here. Because Skydance is actually, run by John Lasseter, and I've heard some stories about him being a creep or something and touching people and all that. I don't really know. He was like a hugger and all, like, harassment and all, but I don't know, like, I don't know, like, as it said, I don't know, like, there was a lot, it felt like more so, like, they just wanted to get rid of him. I don't really know, like, I'm not gonna say sexual harassment does not happen, especially in these studios. I mean, we had Dan Strider, who flat out admitted that he did it, years later, after all these people have been traumatized and all that, which I feel bad for, but, but the thing is, though, is David Lasley, too, not David Lasley, I'm sorry, John Lasseter, he was part of Pixar and all that, and, basically John Lasseter is, had, like, issues behind the scenes and all this stuff, but, again, I feel like they just wanted to get rid of him, because, honestly, John Lasseter was a very stubborn guy. He was very stubborn. Like, even him and Michael Eisner, I think, butted heads and all that, and with Bob Iger being a control freak as well, I'm pretty sure he probably just wanted an excuse to get rid of him. Because I just think it's funny how there was all, like, I'm not saying he didn't do some of this stuff, I'm just saying, like, because like I said, people can make up stuff too, that's the problem, people can make up stuff. I mean, we had that whole Johnny Depp, situation, with his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife, where she made shit up about it. It can happen, and there's a lot of crap going on behind the scenes, but honestly, when there's multiple people like that out there, it's hard to kind of say, but again, a lot of these people out here, they're in there also are like full of themselves and lying about politics and this and that. Like, we had the whole Trump thing and all that, and I'm I mean, the thing is, though, with Trump and all that, like I said, I mean, he's been accused of stuff, too, but I'm like, but again, a lot of people were attacking him, too, so again, it's hard to believe. But what I'm saying is, though, is, like, I don't know what's going on, but I do know what I've heard, I think he's a very stubborn, hard-headed guy, and that's kind of, like, what I'm thinking of what will happen with Warner Brothers, and not Warner Brothers, but Paramount, too, for this merger and all that. But Paramount, honestly, doesn't have a lot, really, to them anymore. I mean, they have some shows, but they really don't have a lot going for them as for right now. Like, I think that they really need some new stuff, they need some new stuff, like, like, we need some new, like, shows or movies to come out on there, but Paramount's probably one of the smaller studios. That's probably why they are struggling, too, because, I mean, it looks like they are learning a little bit with, like, Nickelodeon and all that. I noticed they're not banking as heavily on SpongeBob as they were, too, so that's good, but still, I'm like, I don't want to, deal with all that, I'm just like, I want them to actually get better, and I can say the same thing about Disney and all that, too, but Disney and Warner Brothers, I've kind of lost faith in them. I don't think they're going to get better. Warner Brothers, like, I think they're going to just end up selling them off piece by piece, and which is kind of sad, but I'm just like, if you're just going to sell it off, why not just sell the whole company off at this point? Like, I don't really get it. I just don't. But I don't know. Like, I guess, yeah, again, we have like David Lasley. I guess David Lasley is in there too, and all that. He's not a very great CEO, but again, I don't know what's gonna happen here and all that. Especially with the streaming service Max. I'll say the streaming service at least has some shows on it, but a lot of them like have actually left the platform and all that, are going to other places. Like, they no longer have Ben 10 on there. Like, you have to go to like Netflix to watch it. I think I'm going to still stick by what I said before. I think Max is going to shut down. I think Paramount's going to shut down too. They're going to shut Paramount and Max down. And maybe even Pluto TV, because I always forget Paramount owns Pluto TV as well. Yeah, they own Pluto TV. I always forget about that. But I don't know. I just know, like I said, with Warner Brothers and Paramount, they're also releasing a lot of their shows and movies on DVD again, So I think they definitely know it's not doing very well. And of course, with Disney and all that, like I said, Bob Iger is very strict and all that. And I feel like, I think he's probably going to have to sell some stuff off. I think he's going to have to, because what he's doing right now is, he's doing like what Lasley's doing. He's like cutting costs, and cutting people and all that. I'm like, you're putting these poor people out of a job, which I feel bad for. I mean, well, some of these people are not very great people, I've heard, but a lot of them are just trying to have a career and all that, and you're just taking people out. But you're gonna do that, replace them with AI, and I'm like, what the hell are you gonna do after that? Like, you're gonna hit a ceiling and run out, and that's the same thing with Warner Brothers too. Like, they're gonna hit a ceiling. I think they already hit a ceiling, and they're trying to cut costs. But I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like I said, I don't know why they're canceling. I mean, it's not even just animation. Like, they're canceling films left and right. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on. Like, I think maybe David Lasley could not be there. Maybe he's got issues, because I think he's a pretty old guy too. I don't know. Like I said, something's going on with the company. Like I've been saying, because, like I said, it's just very weird. Like, it doesn't feel like a normal human being with a mindset would do that. Like again, he's just canceling random stuff. Like, he's canceling some shows that are actually good, and some movies that are good, and canceling some that are bad. Like, he's just picking, he's just picking and choosing and all that. And I don't know, I think something's wrong with the guy's mind and all that, but I don't know, they probably need to oust him too. But honestly, I feel like at this point, they probably don't even care anymore. I think they just they just don't care to state about this company. It's the same way with Disney. Like I said, they don't care about the company anymore. They just they got people in charge that don't know what the hell they're doing. But with Disney, I know exactly what they're doing, and I'm not saying it's okay, because it's not. But at least I know what they're doing. Warner Brothers, I don't know what the hell they're doing with animation and all that. Because people are like saying, again, people are saying they don't care about animation, and I don't think they do much. But again, they are canceling live action movies and all that too. Like, they canceled like Batgirl and all that, but they let movies like The Flash and go, and the Velma show went. I'm like, why didn't they just cancel that, instead of canceling this other stuff? I don't know, there's a lot of crap going on, there really is, but don't really know what to do right now about that. It's just it's up in the air, it is. But we'll just have to see what happens and all that. And I actually I still need to do my video on Paramount, because there's this whole thing I want to talk about with one of their Nick Jr. shows, which could be interesting to talk about, but I'll talk about that later. Anywho, but I think I'm going to go ahead and let things go from here, because I got a massive headache. I'm going to have to lay down here, but I'll talk to you later. Alright, guys, see you guys later. I'll probably upload these videos tomorrow, because it's getting kind of late, and I'll have to watch over them. I always like to watch my videos if I can before I upload them, just to be on the safe side. But anywho, see you guys later. Bye-bye.